From CBS News Bay Area, this is the Evening Edition.
Well, today, Bay Area communities fighting back against President Trump's order to pull federal funding from sanctuary cities and counties. Good evening. I'm Ryan Yamamoto. That order came from new Attorney General Pam Bondi shortly after she was sworn in earlier this week. Our very own Kara St. Cyr joins us live right now in San Francisco, where local leaders and community members gathered today to say, we will not be intimidated. Kara.
Now, Ryan, this isn't the first time that San Francisco has filed a lawsuit against the Trump administration over its immigration policy. It happened during his first presidency back in 2017. But what's different about this one is the question of checks and balances, and that's coming from legal analysts who say that this case will have huge implications for the future of how local government is run.
The purpose of our local sanctuary laws.
The Trump administration is asserting a right it does not have.
San Francisco City Attorney David Chu fired back against the Trump administration's efforts to crack down on sanctuary cities with a federal lawsuit. The city is partnering with Santa Clara County and 3 other cities to challenge recent directives issued by the Department of Justice. They threaten to withhold federal funding from sanctuary cities and threaten criminal and civil prosecution against state and local officials that impede federal immigration enforcement.
Their actions fly in the face of fundamental constitutional provisions. They violate plain statutory language and numerous court orders.
It comes after the federal government sued the city of Chicago over its sanctuary laws. As a sanctuary city, San Francisco generally limits local officials from cooperating with federal authorities on civil immigration enforcement.
Immigration enforcement is the federal government's responsibility, not the responsibility of state and local governments. Sanctuary policies prioritize using our scarce local law enforcement resources to actually fight crime, not do the job of the federal government.
Officials from both San Francisco and Santa Clara County say they get billions of dollars in federal funding each year. Santa Clara County Council Tony Lopresti says withholding funding could have dire consequences.
We have billions of dollars at stake, including money that is devoted to our health system. We have the second largest public health system in the state of California. It's critical that we're able to provide those health services and the community services that federal funding helps support.
A similar lawsuit was filed back in 2017 during the first Trump administration, but it was settled in the Ninth Circuit Court. Legal analyst Stephen Clark says this case will likely be elevated to the Supreme Court.
And I think the big question now will be, how is the U.S. Supreme Court going to look at this issue in the grand scheme of things? Because the Trump administration is certainly setting out without congressional approval on conducting a lot of executive orders, particularly in the immigration area.
A legal battle line drawn between the Bay Area and the Trump administration over immigration. And I'd like to add that during this press conference, Chu said that this isn't just about challenging the Trump administration, it's about public safety. He said that if the city violates or rather breaks its promise to act as a sanctuary city, then it'll be difficult and it'll create an environment of chaos and people feeling unsafe, and it'll make it harder for law enforcement to do their jobs. Back to you.